Hello YouTube, this is a Sim Basketball Operator bringing you episode 3 of my Supersonics expansion series here on old gen NBA 2K14, and here we are going through some drills focusing on developing our young guys, the likes of Anthony Kirkendall, Draymond Green, William Luckett, and Aaron Huang. But while this year was supposed to be more of a rebuilding year, we do have some veterans on this team like DJ Augustine and Amari Stoudemire and Caron Butler, who have really stepped up for this team and actually made us sort of a contending force for our playoff spot, which is much to the unexpected surprise of both myself and the fans of the reborn Seattle Supersonics. And this makes things a little bit interesting because while I doubt we'll be anywhere near contending for a championship, this does put us in a little bit of no man's land in terms of rebuilding this team and hopefully making that championship push further down the line. But as you can see, we are 15-12, which is good for second place in our division. Now the OKC Thunder are not in our division anymore, which does change things up. However, the fact that we are second in our division and currently in the playoffs as the season were to end today is a great positive sign moving forward and will provide valuable experience for this team going down the stretch in later years. Now here in this Christmas Day of 2013, we are playing the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, and playing the Knicks and just seeing where their team is and how their roster is currently constructed just brings a little bit of a sense of how remarkable it is to see how far this franchise has fallen. Obviously, they are missing a lot of guys that would be a really big help in contending, and in this association, Mike Woodson is still the head coach, and it's just amazing the fact that this team could have been, close to contending, adding a couple free agents to just having to bottom out, go with a top 5 draft pick in this upcoming draft, hopefully get a guy that can contribute right away before Melo starts to decline. And Melo himself was already injured, and something that did not help was the fact that they weren't able to pull in Goran Dragic, because the fact that now Dragic is wearing a Heat jersey obviously prevents him from being a New York Knick via trade, but also via free agency, because the Heat were one of those 3 teams which he was interested in re-signing with, the Knicks and the Lakers being the other 2. So it really puts a thorn in the rebuilding process for the Knicks, because unlike most rebuilding teams, they have a timetable. They have a guy they're paying $22 million at least over the next 5 seasons or so, in Carmelo Anthony, who's only going to decline. I don't really see him getting better, and it's just going to be really problematic, both the contract and the fact that they have a fan base to satisfy. It's going to be tough for Phil Jackson, and it's not going to be a beautiful rebuilding process, and there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. But moving on to this gameplay, it was very close throughout this first half. As you can see, DJ Augustine is going to get that last second layup to go to put the Sonics up by 1. And the Knicks aren't a half bad team in this game, because they still have J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, even Raymond Felton's doing work for this team, and Carmelo was doing what he does best, drawing a lot of attention from the defense. But going into this game, I felt that I need to win this one. It kind of just, the success we're having with the 15-12 record, you should be able to get it done against the Knicks regardless of who's on their team, because let's face it, they haven't really added that guy to help support Carmelo Anthony. So great move from Luckett right there in the post, and we're going to start to pull away from the Knicks. However, J.R. Smith was really cooking this game. I believe he had upwards of 15 or more points in the first half, and then he continued to cook in the third quarter. And then there's Carmelo drawing in the defense, kicking it out to Prigioni for the 3, and he knocks it down. So the Knicks are hanging tough in there. But as you can see, Aaron Huang driving to the basket, getting the tough layup to go, and then pass along the baseline to Carmelo, but Carmelo responds with an easy layup to tie the game at 65. But Huang is going to get a rip right here, push the tempo, get it over to Daniel Orton, and the big fella is going to finish it with the right hand. And as you can see, we go on a little bit of a run at the end of the third quarter to stretch our lead out to 7 points, making it 74-67, and really starting to take command of this ball game. And so we're getting the fourth quarter started off the right way, lobbing it to Amari Stoudemire, who finishes right over Larry Sanders, who's become one of the sadder stories in the NBA, as he will probably be bought out or released by the Milwaukee Bucks in real life. And the fact that a guy with that much talent, potential at the center position, it's just really sad to see how drugs and other personal problems got in the way of his ability to perform. And regardless of whether a guy plays professional basketball, here's to hope that he gets his life back together and can rebound from this. But look at Draymond Green, the future centerpiece of this team, not just because he's going to be, like, let's say, my number one option, but because he provides so much all-around talent, does all the little things, plays hard, and can be that vocal leader for this unit. And we're holding a double-digit lead until Carmelo Anthony drills that three-pointer from the wing, but it's pretty much over. The Knicks are not even going to foul. Even they could potentially make a run back here, but we're just going to run a straight pick and roll, get a little bit of separation, kick it over to Mahimni, who's going to finish with the right hand, get the easy layup to go, and we will finish with a 103-93 victory. It was actually pretty uneventful considering that it was a back and forth game earlier, but in the third quarter is where we kind of made our run, got a little bit of separation. The Knicks were never able to rebound, partly because they just could not hit their outside shots, and they're a team that's really dependent on those. J.R. Smith led the way in scoring, 27 points on the evening, not much else. Carmelo with 23 points, but was locked up pretty well by Draymond Green, and he did have 4 steals though. Raymond Felton proving he still got enough in the tank with 9 points, 11 assists, and 3 steals, and Iman Shumpert and Kenyon Martin contributing 8 points apiece. Meanwhile, on our side, pretty balanced. Caron Butler with only 16 points, and Draymond Green with 15 to lead us in the scoring department, but it was pretty well spread out. Props to John Henson for getting 11 rebounds in only 20 minutes of action. Really helped us set the tone on the boards, and was a factor in the defensive end. Aaron Huang with 12 assists in addition to 8 points. He just really did a nice job of setting up his teammates, running the offense. I still want him with that second unit because obviously he can boost their production as well, considering we got some talents in the starting lineup. And Draymond Green 4 blocks because Carmelo was not missing unless he was getting his shot blocked, so great performance from him. As you can see, the first half stats are pretty close. The thing that was hurting us was 11 turnovers, but in the third quarter we made a little bit of a separation, outscoring them 27-21, connecting on 65% of our shots. Great performance right there. And then in the fourth quarter, again, our offense continued to surge, even though the Knicks made a couple of late runs. Unfortunately, it was not enough, and when I said we had 11 turnovers in the first half, we only had 3 turnovers for the rest of the game, so that's a great mark right there. A great job of adjustment by the players and the staff as we get the win here on Christmas Day, pushing our record to 16-12. This is the Sim Basketball Operator. I hope you enjoyed episode 3, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks.